sisters and brothers, thank you so much for organizing this vigil and for being here. We're here in honor of Srinivas Kuchibotla and also all of those who've been attacked, Alok, Madasani and Deep Rai right here in Kent. Condolences to Mr. Kuchibotla's family and his friends, and best regards to Mr. Madasani's family and to Ian Grillo, who put his own life in peril to help Srinivas and Alok. Ian's courage is a reminder. Ian's courage is a reminder of the best that we have in humanity, that we are capable of such acts of selfless solidarity. Best wishes to Deep Rai and all our sisters and brothers in the Sikh community. It is very important that we gather here today to take a stand against hate violence, against the rise of this kind of violence which has been in all too many cases emboldened by the election of Donald Trump. We should not only take a stand against this instance, but every such instance of hate violence, of hate against black and brown and indigenous lives, against immigrants, against Muslims, against Latinos, and of the violence against the LGBTQ community. We must, as my sisters Rita and Meena have already said, reject this idea that these crimes against our fellow South Asians are horrific because we are doctors and engineers and professors. These hate crimes are horrific, period, regardless of which human. These hate crimes are horrific regardless of which human they target, regardless of ethnicity, of education, of profession, of religion, sexual orientation, or gender identity. As a South Asian immigrant to America myself, I believe, as my sisters have already said, that our specific historic responsibility at this moment in time is to actively reject the idea of so-called model minorities or model immigrant communities. We must instead say what the labor movement says: an injury to one is an injury to all. We will not be able to fight, sisters and brothers, this hate and bigotry, let alone eliminate it on a case-by-case basis, because like it happened to Srinivas and Alok and Deep, we will never be able to predict when it's going to happen. And staying at home in fear is not an option either. So what should we do? We, I believe, have to build a movement, a powerful movement. The mass peaceful civil disobedience of hundreds of thousands of people shutting down airports all the way from JFK to SeaTac was what defeated Trump's attempted Muslim ban. We should take inspiration from such victories and build on them further. It is absolutely crucial to remember that there is nothing automatic or all-pervasive about bigotry in any society, but it is societal conditions that determine it, in particular, political conditions. For example, it was mass movements of ordinary working people that has enabled, over the past several decades, the strides in women's rights, the right to vote, the right to reproductive and workplace rights. We have not gone as far as we want to in women's rights, but we are way farther than we were 50 years ago, and that was because of mass movements. It was the activism of the LGBTQ community that is now helping to transform American society to the better. Unfortunately, this time, the election of Donald Trump, a racist and bigot, is unleashing the current of racism and hatred in America, even though it actually does not represent, and I strongly believe this, it does not represent the viewpoint of the majority of America. The only way we will be able to protect ourselves and our families and our friends is if we fight collectively for a different kind of society. I wanted to share something with you. The day after Trump was elected, myself and my fellow activists, we said we should go out and protest the day after the election. And I was targeted, my whole office was targeted with tens of thousands of hateful phone calls, tens of thousands of emails and social media messages from a lot of people, many of them saying, you should go home, just go home. And my home could be anywhere from Pakistan to the Middle East, and even Mexico. And I was asked repeatedly, don't you fear this? What is your response going to be? And the only thing we could say was that the only protection I can have is if we are building a movement where we are all together. Otherwise, I have no protection. And that is the same for all of us. We have no protection other than if we are building together. So in that spirit, sisters and brothers, please join me this Wednesday, March 8th. It is International Women's Day. Please join me at 6 p.m. at Westlake Plaza. Let's make our voices heard. And let's make May 1st the most historic possible day of strike actions and protest actions. And let's make it historic in another way. Let's have the largest ever South Asian contingent in a protest action in America. Thank you.